In this video, we are going to see how to calculate the price escalations based on the contractual formulas mostly used in the industry. So every contract might have a different kind of formulas, and but major contracts and construction uses this similar formula. So let's see how to calculate step by step in a very easy methodologies. How to calculate the price escalations. Step 1, check the price escalation clause. That is the first step. So most contracts that are heavily dependent on variable costs, even though the contract is a lump sum price, there are the certain portion of the contract is based on we expect the price escalations or price. It's not just about price escalation. There may be also price dips. There is a decrease in the price in certain areas. For example, is a transmission line project. The transmission line projects are heavily dependent on the transmission conductors, which is aluminum. Aluminum has a high price fluctuation. For example, if it's a 2 years project, there is more chances of price increases or price decreases during the execution of the project. And similarly to road projects, it depends heavily on the steel, cement, steel price increase, cement price increase. So these are the components that are usually that fluctuates in the contractual period. So here, for example, there are the indices for the labor, steel, fuel, etc. that are used as a weighted formula. Step 2, identify the base contract value. So there will be an original contract value, and the original contract value will have two components. One is fixed components, one is variable components. The fixed component will not have a price increase. Only the variable components will be affected by the price fluctuations. We should not say price increase, it is price fluctuation, because that might be increase or that might be decrease also. So this is the most commonly used price escalation formula, where B is the adjusted contract price, which we are going to calculate, and P is the base contract price. Like in this example, we have taken 50 million, and A is the base fixed price portion. This portion will not have any impact on any price escalations. And B, C, D are the weightages for the labors, materials, and fuels that is accepted between both the parties inside the contract. The L0, M0, and F0 are the base indices. L1, M1, F1 are the current indices. L is for labor, M is for material, F is for fuel. So, step 4, defining the weightages as per the contract. So, these are the accepted weightages. You just can't change these weightages while calculating or executing the project. These are accepted between the parties while signing the contract. So, the fixed portion of the project, 20%, that is, it can never be adjusted. That is the A. The labor part B is the weightage is 30% of the entire project value. Material C is 40% of the entire project value. For fuel, it contributes 10% of the contract value. Step 5, determine the base indices at the tender stage. So, for example, the labor indices at the time of contract award or the indices used at the time of tender stage. That will have a reference. So, the labor indices, index L0 is 100, metal index is M0 is 120, fuel index F0 is 90, which is or the base index. So now, while executing the project, every IPC will be submitted for the work done at the particular project. For the work done, which index or which indices it is depend on, that will be referred. Usually, these indices are referred based on the contractual record. For example, in India, they refer with the CPWD and MORTH indices for infrastructure projects. So there are several kind of indexes that the contract actually follows. The contract will say that which index has to be followed, whether it's from the public sectors or it is from the government authorities or it is published by the any international standard organizations. So labor index L1, this is the current index for which you are asking for the escalation. Okay. So for example, it has went to 120. From 100 to it has increased to 120. Material index, it has increased from 120 to 150. Fuel index, it has increased from 90 to 110. So always remember that it not just increases, it will also decrease. So apply the formula, substitute the values. So now you get the differences. Like for example, the labor factor goes to 1.2 times and the material factor increases to 1.25 times. Fuel factor increases to 1.22 times on the calculation. So now we are going to substitute that in the entire formula that we have seen before. So V is the one we are working out for the the adjusted contract price. 50 million is the fixed contract price, and now every component, the 20 percentage component is fixed, and the 30 percentage increases by 1.2 times, and the 40 percentage increases 1.25 times, and the 10 percentage increases 1.2 times. So now on calculation, the entire calculation, if you see, 1.182 times the variable structure has been increased, and the contract value will increase to 1.182 times, which is the 50 million a project becomes 59 million. So the escalation cost is 9 million, 9.1 million. So this is how we have to calculate the price escalation cost. This, I'm very clear about the disclaimer. This is a simplified illustration just for educational purposes to understand the basic of the price escalation. This is not, it's not necessary that the same formula will be used everywhere, because depending on the project nature, the variable costs and the materials or the labors, it depends on the industry. It might be even inside the construction industry, uh, every construction project differs. For example, the building industry has a different kind of construction indices. Roads and infrastructure has, oil and gas has separately. For example, the pipeline laying will have a separate uh, kind of price escalation. Very well, the transmission lines will have a separate kind of price escalation. The price indices depends on a particular index in the even inside the state or inside the country. Different states will follow different index. So they are completely different. In some cases, there might be caps for the price escalation. Even though it goes beyond this, this is the maximum we will pay. There will be exclusions. There will be many conditions as per the contract. But as a contracts manager or an quantity saver, you have to understand the price escalation clause. So that is the crux of this video. So I think hope we have given a very simple explanation. So this will have an give you an understanding how price escalation is being used. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.